The holographic chamber of Nexus Prime hummed with the ambient chatter of 1,000 alien species. Translucent data streams flickered between crystalline pillars, casting prismatic light across the faces of diplomats, traders, and bureaucrats from every corner of the known galaxy. At the center of this cosmic bazaar stood Marcus Chen, humanity's ambassador, looking almost unremarkable amid the exotic array of alien forms. To the untrained eye, Chen appeared to be a middle-aged human in a tailored diplomatic suit. His salt and pepper hair and calm demeanor suggested nothing more than a competent bureaucrat. But those who knew him understood that appearances could be devastatingly misleading. The Confederation's Grand Assembly had become a routine exercise in diplomatic tedium. Representatives from advanced civilizations spoke in measured tones, their conversations a complex dance of subtle threats and economic maneuvering. The Zillaran delegation, with their crystalline bodies that refracted light like living prisms, dominated the central platform. Their lead diplomat, arch-communicator Vexnera, had just finished another condescending monologue about the developmental challenges of emerging species. Chen listened, his right hand resting near a seemingly ordinary communication device. To anyone watching, it appeared to be nothing more than a standard diplomatic transponder. Nothing could be further from the truth. Beneath the polished marble floor of the diplomatic chamber, a network of quantum entanglement relays waited. Developed in the most secure research facilities on Earth, these systems represented generations of human innovation, technology so advanced that it made the Confederation's most sophisticated communication networks look like children's toys. The arch-communicator's words dripped with patronizing contempt. Emerging species like humanity continue to require guidance, Vexnera proclaimed, their crystalline form casting rainbow-like reflections across the chamber. The Confederation has a responsibility to shepherd less developed civilizations toward galactic integration. A subtle smile played across Chen's lips. Less developed. If only they knew. For decades, humanity had been playing a long game. Every dismissed patent, every bureaucratic roadblock, every subtle insult had been carefully catalogued. While other species saw humans as naive newcomers, a select few had been preparing something extraordinary. Dr. Elena Rodriguez, humanity's chief of advanced research, had spent years building a technological foundation that would fundamentally reshape galactic understanding. Her teams had analyzed, decoded, and ultimately reimagined every piece of technological data they could acquire. What the Confederation saw as human limitation, Rodriguez saw as an opportunity for unprecedented innovation. The chamber fell silent as Chen stepped forward. His movement was deliberate, each step calculated. Behind him, a nearly imperceptible shimmer suggested something was waiting. Something powerful and completely unknown. Honored members of the Galactic Confederation, Chen began, his voice calm and electronically crisp through the translation systems. We're going to have a conversation about respect. A ripple of confusion spread through the assembled delegates. Some leaned forward, others exchanged puzzled glances. The Zillaran delegation seemed particularly perplexed by the human ambassador's unexpected confidence. What they didn't see was the intricate network of quantum systems activated by Chen's smallest gesture. What they couldn't comprehend was the decades of preparation that had led to this moment. Humanity was about to teach the galaxy a lesson it would never forget. As Chen continued speaking, the first subtle threads of a plan decades in the making began to unfurl. The galaxy would never be the same. Deep beneath the Atacama Desert, a world existed that no alien intelligence had ever glimpsed. The Prometheus research facility stretched across an underground complex larger than most city-states, a testament to humanity's most carefully guarded secret. Dr. Elena Rodriguez moved through corridors lined with quantum computing arrays that hummed with an almost living energy. Each wall was a marvel of engineering. Adaptive membranes that could instantly reconfigure their molecular structure, absorbing and redirecting energy in ways that defied known physical laws. The facility was more than a research center. It was humanity's true response to decades of galactic dismissal. Rodriguez paused before a massive holographic display, her fingers tracing lines of complex data that danced like living algorithms. Around her, teams of researchers worked with an intensity that bordered on religious devotion. These were not just scientists. They were architects of a new understanding of technological possibility. Compile the Confederation intercept logs from the past 50 years, she murmured to her primary AI assistant, a system so advanced it made other galactic AI look like simple pocket calculators. Holographic windows exploded into existence, revealing a meticulous record of every diplomatic slight, every technological barrier, every moment of condescension humanity had endured. What other species saw as rejection, Rodriguez's team had transformed into the most comprehensive intelligence-gathering operation in galactic history. A junior researcher approached, holding a quantum data crystal. "Doctor, we've completed the analysis of the Illyrian communication encryption," she reported. The crystal contained more processed information than entire alien research facilities could produce in a decade. Rodriguez's eyes flickered with a combination of scientific excitement and something deeper, a carefully controlled anger that had been brewing for generations. The Galactic Confederation had never truly seen humanity. They had categorized humans as a young, developing species, a classification that was about to be spectacularly dismantled. Each rejected human patent was more than just a bureaucratic roadblock. It was a piece of a massive, intricate puzzle. Teams had been studying alien technologies, breaking them down to their most fundamental components, and then reimagining them entirely. What the Confederation considered advanced technology, humanity saw as a crude first draft. The facility's quantum computers worked in silent harmony, processing information at speeds that would make other civilizations weep. They weren't just analyzing alien technologies, they were predicting technological trajectories, understanding systemic weaknesses, and developing solutions to problems that other species didn't even know existed. On one wall, a massive display tracked global human resources. Every engineer, every researcher, every innovative mind had been carefully positioned. It wasn't just a workforce. It was a distributed intelligence network that spanned the entire planet. "Status of Project Odyssey?" Rodriguez asked quietly. The AI's response was instantaneous. Quantum Entanglement Communication Network is at 97.3% integration. Adaptive nanoswarm defense systems are fully operational. Technological mimicry protocols are complete. What other species failed to understand was humanity's true strength. It wasn't raw technological power. It was adaptability. The ability to learn, to transform, to see potential where others saw limitations. Rodriguez touched a holographic image of Earth, a planet that had been consistently underestimated. Each continent represented not just a geographical region, but a potential for innovation that was about to be unleashed. "We are ready," she whispered. The facility continued its silent work, a sleeping giant preparing to reshape the understanding of technological possibility. The galaxy had no idea what was coming. The new Singapore colony hung like a jewel against the inky backdrop of space. Nestled in the Epsilon Eridani system, it represented humanity's most advanced extrastellar settlement, a world that looked deceptively vulnerable to outside observers. Commander Aria Santos studied the incoming sensor data with a calm that belied the approaching storm. Her command center was a marvel of adaptive technology. Walls that could reconfigure themselves, displays that anticipated information before it was requested. Around her, a team of specialists moved with the precision of a symphony orchestra, each motion deliberate and interconnected. "Krultak invasion fleet detected," announced Lieutenant Marcos, his voice steady. "Initial approach vector suggests complete system saturation." The Krultak Imperium was not known for subtlety. Their biomechanical warships represented the pinnacle of aggressive expansion, a species that had consumed entire star systems with ruthless efficiency. They saw New Singapore as nothing more than another conquest, another resource to be stripped and forgotten. What they didn't understand was that this colony was anything but vulnerable. Massive defense platforms began to shimmer into existence, not through traditional shielding, but through adaptive quantum field generators that could literally reshape the fabric of local space-time. These were not static defenses. They were living, thinking systems that could predict and counter threats before they fully materialized. Incoming projectile spread. Marcos reported. Conventional weapons detection at 92% probability. Commander Santos allowed herself the slightest smile. Conventional was exactly what the Krelltalk would not find here. The first wave of Krelltalk missiles approached with mathematical precision. They were designed to overwhelm defenses through sheer numerical superiority, a tactic that had decimated hundreds of colonies across the galaxy. But New Singapore was not just another colony. It was a carefully constructed trap. Each missile found itself subtly redirected. Not destroyed. Not intercepted. Simply misplaced. Navigation systems became confused. Targeting computers encountered impossible spatial mathematics. The missiles began to drift, their trajectories becoming increasingly erratic. Lieutenant Alina Chen, the colony's lead quantum defense specialist, worked her console like a musical instrument. Her fingers danced across holographic interfaces that looked deceptively simple. What the Krelltalk didn't realize was that they were already defeated the moment they entered the system. The biomechanical warships began to experience systemic failures. Not catastrophic destructions that would trigger defensive responses, but subtle, cascading malfunctions that would make retreat look like a strategic choice. Propulsion systems would momentarily flicker. Communication networks would experience microscopic delays. They don't even know they're losing, Santos murmured. This was more than a defense. It was a performance. A demonstration of capabilities so advanced that the very concept of combat was being redefined. Quantum entanglement communication systems, developed in the most secure research facilities on Earth, had been tracking the invasion fleet's every move. Not a single system remained uncompromised. The Krelltalk were sailing through a sea of carefully constructed illusions, believing they were in control while every aspect of their invasion was being managed. Invasion fleet status, Santos asked. Completely neutralized, Chen responded. 0 casualties on our side. 0 direct engagement. The colony continued its orbit, looking for all the universe like nothing extraordinary had happened. But something fundamental had changed. Humanity had just shown the galaxy that power was not about destruction. It was about control. Absolute, complete control. Deep within the Prometheus research facility, Dr. Elena Rodriguez watched the New Singapore engagement unfold with a mixture of scientific precision and quiet satisfaction. The massive holographic displays captured every microscopic detail of the Krelltalk fleet's systematic neutralization, each data point a testament to years of meticulous research and preparation. Quantum coherence maintained at 99.7%, whispered her primary AI assistant, its voice a near-perfect human approximation. The system was more than a computer. It was the culmination of humanity's most advanced cognitive engineering. A thinking machine that understood context, strategy, and human intention in ways no alien technology could comprehend. Rodriguez touched a translucent data stream, expanding a complex neural network that represented the colony's defensive systems. What looked like a simple defensive grid was actually a living, adaptive intelligence. Each quantum node could predict, redirect, and neutralize threats before they could even be fully conceptualized. Lieutenant Commander David Kim entered the observation room, his movements deliberate and controlled. As head of extraterrestrial defense strategy, he understood the significance of what had just occurred. The Krelltalk invasion was more than just a military engagement. It was a statement. They still don't understand, Kim remarked, studying the holographic representation of the neutralized fleet. Total systems compromised without a single direct attack. Rodriguez nodded. The beauty of their strategy lay in its complete invisibility. No conventional weapons had been fired. No direct destruction had occurred. The Krelltalk fleet had simply been rendered irrelevant. Each of the colony's defensive systems represented a breakthrough that would rewrite the understanding of technological capability. Quantum entanglement communication networks allowed for instantaneous information processing that made current galactic communication look primitive. Adaptive nanoswarm technologies could reshape matter at the molecular level, turning incoming threats into harmless configurations. Data compression complete, the AI announced. Terabytes of information from the engagement were being analyzed, processed, and integrated into humanity's growing understanding of alien technologies. The facility buzzed with a controlled excitement. Teams of researchers worked on interconnected projects that blurred the lines between physics, information theory, and pure imagination. They weren't just defending. They were learning, adapting, evolving. Prepare the preliminary report for the Confederation, Rodriguez instructed. Make it clinical. Make it clear. The report would be a masterpiece of understated power, raw data that would send shockwaves through every advanced civilization in the galaxy. Proof that humanity was not just another emerging species to be overlooked or managed. Kim pulled up a secondary display showing global human resource allocation. Every engineer, every researcher, every innovative mind was part of a distributed intelligence network that spanned the entire planet. The Krelltalk invasion was just one small demonstration of a much larger capability. They thought we were vulnerable, Kim said quietly. They have no idea what we're capable of. The holographic displays continued their silent dance of data. Millions of calculations occurred in the span of milliseconds. Entire technological paradigms were being dismantled and rebuilt with each passing moment. Rodriguez touched a final control, sending the engagement data through a secure quantum communication network. The message was clear. Humanity was no longer asking for a seat at the galactic table. They were preparing to redesign the entire dining room. Outside the facility, the Atacama Desert stretched endlessly, a perfect metaphor for the hidden depths of human potential. Quiet, unassuming, holding secrets that could reshape entire civilizations. Nexus Prime transformed into a cauldron of tension. The massive holographic chamber that had once been a symbol of galactic bureaucracy now hummed with an electric anticipation that no diplomatic protocol could contain. Ambassador Marcus Chen stood at the center of the storm, a holographic representation of the frozen Krelltalk fleets slowly rotating behind him. The image was clinical, almost surgical in its precision, a fleet suspended in space, every system neutralized without a single physical attack. The Confederation's representatives represented the most advanced civilizations in the known galaxy. Crystal-formed Zillarans, gaseous entities from the Nebulon cluster, silicon-based intelligences from the quantum domains, all sat frozen, their universal translators struggling to process the implications of what they were witnessing. "We did not destroy your fleet," Chen began, his voice calm and almost academic. Each word was carefully chosen, each syllable loaded with layers of meaning. "We simply demonstrated the consequences of misunderstanding humanity's capabilities. The Archon of Zillara, a being composed of interlocking crystalline structures that typically refracted light in mesmerizing patterns, now appeared dim and lifeless. Its usual condescension had been replaced by something far more dangerous, complete incomprehension. Lieutenant Commander David Kim watched from a secure communication hub, monitoring every microscopic reaction in the diplomatic chamber. The holographic displays around him tracked emotional responses, communication frequencies, and psychological indicators for every species present. "Diplomatic pressure at critical threshold," whispered his AI assistant. "Psychological destabilization protocols functioning at 94% efficiency." This was more than a demonstration of technological capability. It was a masterclass in strategic communication. The holographic representation of the Krelltalk fleet continued its silent rotation. Each frozen ship told a story of technological superiority that no words could fully capture, no weapons fired, no direct confrontation. Simply a complete and total neutralization that defied every known principle of galactic warfare. "Every technology you believed was your advantage," Chen continued, "has been understood, analyzed, and ultimately controlled." The translation systems worked overtime, struggling to capture the nuanced implications of his statement. What humans were demonstrating was not just technological superiority, but a fundamental reimagining of power itself. Dr. Elena Rodriguez, watching from the Prometheus research facility, allowed herself the slightest smile. Years of careful preparation, decades of strategic planning, were culminating in this moment. The galaxy was about to understand that humanity was not just another emerging species to be managed or controlled. The Confederation's communication networks began to light up. Encrypted channels, supposedly secure quantum communication systems, found themselves subtly monitored, not hacked, not destroyed, simply observed. "We are not interested in conquest." Chen's voice rang out. "We are interested in progress." The silence that followed was more profound than any sound could have been. Representatives from species that had existed for millennia found themselves unable to formulate a response. How do you counter a demonstration of power that refuses to use power in the traditional sense? Kim's displays showed fascinating psychological data. Confusion, fear, a dawning realization that everything they understood about technological capability was about to be rewritten. The holographic fleet continued its silent rotation, a perfect metaphor for humanity's approach. Calm, controlled, absolutely devastating. Ambassador Chen's final words echoed through the chamber, through secure communication channels, through the very fabric of galactic consciousness. Our courtesy has limits. Remember that. The aftermath of the diplomatic confrontation spread through galactic communication networks like a quantum storm. Information traveled faster than light, carrying with it a fundamental shift in understanding that no species was prepared to comprehend. In the crystalline communication chambers of Zilara Prime, the ruling council found themselves in unprecedented chaos. The Archon of Zilara, once the most powerful diplomatic entity in the Galactic Confederation, sat motionless, its normally radiant crystalline structure now clouded and dim. "Comprehensive system analysis complete," announced the Zilaran Primary Intelligence System. Its voice carried a subtle undertone of something rarely experienced by its species: uncertainty. Every classified file, every secret communication, every carefully guarded technological secret had been subtly compromised. Not destroyed, not stolen, simply exposed. The humans had demonstrated a level of informational access that defied every known principle of galactic security. Lieutenant Commander David Kim watched the unfolding scenario from the Prometheus Research Facility's primary monitoring station. Holographic displays tracked diplomatic communications across hundreds of star systems, each line of data a testament to humanity's new capabilities. Psychological destabilization protocols are functioning at 97.3% efficiency, whispered his AI assistant. The system was more than just a computer. It was a living analysis engine that could predict diplomatic and technological responses with terrifying accuracy. The quantum domains, a collection of silicon-based intelligences that had previously considered themselves the pinnacle of technological evolution, found their most secure communication networks suddenly transparent. Not breached, not hacked, simply made completely visible. Dr. Elena Rodriguez studied the data streams with scientific detachment. Each moment was a carefully calculated step in a much larger strategy. What other species saw as a confrontation, she understood as a precise demonstration of capability. Diplomatic channels across the galaxy began to shift. Species that had previously dismissed humanity as a junior member of the Galactic Confederation now found themselves reassessing every interaction. The rules of engagement had fundamentally changed. "It's not about power," Rodriguez murmured to her research team. "It's about understanding." The communication networks told a story more complex than any direct confrontation could. Encrypted channels became visible. Secure databases found themselves subtly analyzed, not with the crude methods of traditional intelligence gathering, but with a level of sophistication that made previous technologies look like children's toys. Ambassador Marcus Chen's diplomatic team worked in perfect synchronization. Each communication, Each diplomatic exchange was a carefully constructed narrative that reshaped the galaxy's understanding of humanity. On Earth, entire research facilities worked in perfect harmony. This was more than a technological demonstration. It was a collective statement of human potential. Every engineer, every researcher, every innovative mind was part of a distributed intelligence network that spanned the entire planet. The Nebulon Cluster, a collection of gaseous intelligences that had existed for millennia, found their most secure communication protocols suddenly transparent, not through brute force hacking, but through a level of technological understanding that bordered on the miraculous. "We are not a threat." Chen's previous diplomatic message continued to resonate. "We are an opportunity." Kim's displays showed fascinating psychological data. Confusion, fear, a dawning realization that everything they understood about technological capability was about to be rewritten. The galaxy trembled, not from physical force, but from the sudden, shocking realization that everything they believed about technological capability had been fundamentally incorrect. Humanity was not just another species to be managed or controlled. They were architects of a new understanding of power itself. The Prometheus Research Facility burst into a symphony of technological brilliance as Dr. Elena Rodriguez prepared humanity's most profound demonstration. Behind her, massive holographic displays began to unfold a narrative that would redefine technological possibility. "Prepare the comprehensive technology showcase," she instructed her team, her voice calm and measured. The presentation was unlike anything the Galactic Confederation had ever witnessed. It wasn't a military display. It wasn't a show of force. It was something far more powerful, a comprehensive overview of solutions to challenges that had plagued galactic civilizations for millennia. The first holographic window revealed breakthrough ecological restoration technologies. Entire planetary ecosystems could be regenerated, pollutants transformed into life-sustaining resources. Where other species saw environmental challenges as insurmountable, humans saw intricate puzzles waiting to be solved. "Planetary regeneration protocols," Rodriguez explained, her fingers dancing across adaptive interfaces, complete ecosystem reconstruction at molecular levels. The display shifted. Energy production technologies that made current galactic standards look primitive materialized. Quantum energy conversion systems could transform fundamental atomic interactions into clean, sustainable power sources. Entire star systems could be powered with minimal infrastructure, using principles that other civilizations hadn't even begun to conceptualize. Lieutenant Commander David Kim monitored global resource allocation. Every brilliant mind on Earth was part of a distributed intelligence network, working in perfect synchronization. This was more than a technological showcase. It was a statement of collective human potential. The next demonstration focused on medical technologies that could reconstruct cellular structures, reverse genetic degradation, and essentially rewrite the understanding of biological limitations. Species that had struggled with genetic diseases for millennia would find themselves looking at complete solutions. "We are not interested in conquest," Rodriguez's presentation continued. "We are interested in progress." Each technological solution was more than just a breakthrough. It was an invitation, a demonstration that humanity's true strength lay not in military might, but in problem-solving capabilities that defied conventional understanding. Communication technologies emerged next. Quantum entanglement networks that could transmit information across galactic distances instantaneously, with perfect security and zero signal degradation. The very concept of communication was being reimagined. The AI assistant tracking the presentation provided real-time analysis. Technological innovation rate, 427% above galactic average. Potential impact, transformative across multiple civilizational domains. Transportation technologies followed. Spatial manipulation systems that could fold spacetime, making interstellar travel as simple as walking between rooms. Entire star systems could be traversed in moments, using principles that challenged fundamental understanding of physics. Ambassador Marcus Chen watched from the diplomatic monitoring station. This was the true demonstration of human capability, not through destruction, but through creation. Agricultural technologies showed how entire planetary ecosystems could be optimized. Crops that could grow in impossible conditions, food production systems that could feed billions with minimal resources. Hunger, a concept that had plagued civilizations for millennia, could become a distant memory. We are an opportunity. Chen's previous message continued to resonate through diplomatic channels. The final demonstration was perhaps the most profound. A comprehensive overview of adaptive learning technologies that could help species understand and integrate complex knowledge at unprecedented rates. Not just information transfer, but a fundamental reimagining of cognitive potential. As the presentation concluded, the message was clear. Humanity was not just another species to be categorized or managed. They were architects of a new understanding of technological and intellectual potential. The galaxy held its collective breath, realizing that everything was about to change. The Galactic Confederation's central chamber transformed into something entirely unprecedented, where formal protocols and rigid hierarchies had once defined every interaction. A new understanding now emerged. Humanity had fundamentally altered the dynamics of galactic civilization. Ambassador Marcus Chen stood at the epicenter of this transformation, surrounded by representatives from species that had existed for millennia. The holographic displays around him continued to showcase humanity's comprehensive technological capabilities, a silent testament to their potential. "We are proposing a new framework of cooperation," Chen announced, his voice steady and measured. Each word carried the weight of carefully calculated diplomatic strategy. The Archon of Zilara, once the most dismissive of human potential, now listened with a profound sense of recalibration. Its crystalline structure, previously radiant with condescension, now seemed muted and reflective. The demonstration of human capabilities had shattered every preconceived notion about emerging species. Dr. Elena Rodriguez watched from the Prometheus Research Facility, monitoring every microscopic diplomatic interaction. This was more than a political moment. It was the culmination of generations of strategic preparation. Lieutenant Commander David Kim analyzed the psychological data streams. The diplomatic exchanges revealed a fundamental shift in galactic understanding. Humanity was not seeking dominance. They were offering partnership on an unprecedented scale. The proposed framework was revolutionary. Instead of traditional hierarchical diplomatic structures, humanity suggested a collaborative model where each species could contribute its unique capabilities. Technology exchanges, collaborative research initiatives, and open-source problem-solving platforms would replace the previous rigid communication protocols. "We are not interested in control," Chen continued. "We are interested in collective advancement." The communication networks across the galaxy hummed with a new type of energy. Species that had been isolated for millennia found themselves presented with opportunities for genuine collaboration. The technological solutions humanity had demonstrated were not just impressive, they were transformative. Quantum communication networks began to reconfigure. Information-sharing protocols were being rewritten in real time. The very concept of galactic interaction was being reimagined. The Nebulon cluster's gaseous representatives found themselves particularly intrigued. Humanity's approach to problem-solving challenged everything they understood about technological development. Where other species saw limitations, humans saw opportunities for innovation. "Our capabilities are not a threat," Chen explained. "They are an invitation to reimagine what's possible." Global human resources continued to work in perfect synchronization. Every researcher, every engineer, every innovative mind was part of a distributed intelligence network that spanned the entire planet. This was humanity's true strength, not individual brilliance, but collective potential. The diplomatic displays tracked an unprecedented phenomenon. Species that had previously been in conflict found themselves presented with collaborative solutions. Ecological challenges that had seemed insurmountable now appeared solvable. Energy production technologies could transform entire star systems. Ambassador Chen's final presentation revealed humanity's most profound offering: a comprehensive framework for species development that went beyond traditional technological exchanges. This was about collective growth, shared understanding, and mutual advancement. The Galactic Confederation found itself at a crossroads. The rules of engagement had fundamentally changed. Humanity had demonstrated that power was not about military might or technological superiority, but about problem-solving and collaborative potential. As the diplomatic session concluded, one thing became crystal clear: the galaxy would never be the same again. The universe had just met its most unexpected architects of change.